Disclaimer: I'm a massive fan of the Halo series, and I do actually enjoy Halo 5. However, I think everyone can agree that this game was not all that it was hyped up to be. It was kind of disappointing. While yes, I do still enjoy the game, there are a lot of things that could be pointed out with it. This isn't a video intended to bitch, it is a video intended to educate 343 on what they did wrong with their game. I will be making a follow-up video to this with a few things that Halo 5 did right. So, without further ado, let's go. Problem number 1. The game's marketing made it look like Master Chief and Spartan Locke are going to have a giant, fight. However, this never happens in the story. In fact, the only thing that actually happens is them getting into a tiny little fist fight that could have been resolved. Number 2. The game didn't even tell us that on normal mode it would take us 8 to 12 hours to beat Halo 5's campaign. However, it took me a mere 5 hours to beat the game. And yes, this was on normal difficulty. Number 3 is Team Osiris. Overall, we can all agree that the only reason that they were even put into the game was so co-op could work. But I'll talk about that in a second. My main problem with Team Osiris is that they didn't put any effort into any of the characters. Vale and Tanaka are some of the most one-dimensional characters I have ever seen in a video game. Just nothing interesting whatsoever about them. Buck was truly the only character of the group I actually gave a shit about. Number 4, Blue Team. Frankly, I haven't read outside of the actual Halo games. I haven't read any of the books, none of the comics, none of the web stories, none of that. So yes, I know who Blue Team is, but I don't know anything about them. I know Master Chief, but I don't know Linda, Fred, and whoever the other woman was. Wasn't it like Kelly or something? Number 5 is the simple fact that by the time I beat the game, I honestly didn't have a clue what the hell happened. It was overall really confusing and hard to follow and just not very well explained. Number 6 is the fact that you play as Master Chief, the mascot of the entire game, for a grand total of 3 missions out of 15. Good way to make your fans hate you, 343. Number 7 is the simple fact that they completely ruined Halo 4's ending. It's basically revealed in the first couple of missions that Cortana is indeed alive. This made a bit of an impact on me, knowing that there was a 3-year gap between the time that I played Halo 5 and Halo 4. But imagine playing through all 5 of the main Halo games in a giant spree, beating Halo 4, noticing Cortana die, then going straight into Halo 5, not to notice 10 minutes later that she's still alive. Number 8 is the simple fact that the Arbiter made an appearance in the game for basically no reason. He had no real significance in the story other than to fight off the Covenant, which the game wasn't even about the Covenant. It was honestly just a giant waste of Keith David's talent. God damn my stuttering. Number 9 is the Warden Eternal. Overall, he's a pretty interesting character, but the fact that you have to fight him, I think, 7 times got a little redundant. Number 10 is how easy they could have resolved the problem between Master Chief and Locke if they just kind of sat down and talked about what they were trying to do. This once again falls in line with the false marketing. Number 11 is the amount of low content at release. Overall, yes, we did get a full-fledged campaign, but even then it was 5 hours long. We were still missing a lot of maps, which, yes, there were 20 maps, but I'll go ahead and get into the problem with that in a different reason. And overall, there just weren't a lot of modes. There was Warzone and Arena, and Warzone was its own mode, basically. Just one mode, 2 counting Assault, if anyone actually plays Assault. Overall, there just weren't enough modes for Arena. There wasn't Griffball at launch or anything. Even Infection, we just now got Infection. Number 12 is the monthly updates. It sounds like a good idea in theory. They say, oh yeah, this is for all the money you've been giving us with the rec pack system, which I'll get to in a bit. However, they're not rewarding us because the majority of the maps they've been pumping out are pretty much just remashes of the current ones that they already have, and they're really just putting more rec packs into the game so that way we can spend more money on rec packs. 13 is the fact that you can only get armor in rec packs. Why can't it be like Halo 3 where you actually had to do something cool? And back to the concept of armor, number 14 is the fact that the majority of armor in Halo 5 looked absolutely retarded. Just Google image some pictures of Halo 5 armor. You won't be let down. Number 15 are the supply drop styled rec packs. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it kind of gives you that joy of opening like a Yu-Gi-Oh pack or Pokemon card pack. It's fun. Yeah, that was kind of my impression at first as well, but the thing is, Halo 5, or Halo in general, is not a card game. It's a first-person shooter. Stop. Number 16 is the fact that there's no fucking split screen in a goddamn Halo game. What the hell's wrong with you? 17 is the boring, repetitive map design, like I mentioned in the monthly update reason. You'll see a lot of repeated structures and maps that aren't even in Forge. Kinda dumb. 18 is the simple fact that Warzone is pretty easy to get bored of. There isn't enough, throw money to, have a chance to get this cool weapon out there to actually enjoy yourself with for a superior long amount of time. Sadly, I could only get 20 hours out of this mode, and that's kind of pathetic considering how much I love Halo and how much time I juiced out of games like Halo Reach. 19. Thrust made the game very repetitive. Get shot? Thrust. Want to shoot someone? Thrust. Want to throw a grenade? First you get a thrust. It just got really repetitive, and I found myself just spamming the B button. Even though it had a 4-second cooldown, it got really boring. 20. 20 is the fact that it lost its fight back factor. A lot of Halo games gave you the opportunity, if you were to be shot from behind, to turn around and actually turn around the fight, making it more skill based and not just, oh, I ran into you, you're dead. Sadly, Halo 5 doesn't really retain that. No, you're not going to die if someone gets the upper hand on you, unless you escape. The point is, Halo 5 did something, I'm not exactly sure what, but I guess they gave you just a little bit too much mobility, and it made it basically impossible to turn back a fight. Your only real options were to either escape or sit there and die. 21 was the brain dead ranking system. I completely lost any motivation whatsoever to play Halo 5 competitively. 22 is just kind of a vibe the game got off with the campaign. It didn't have a lot of the magic that the first few Halo games really struck for me. Of course, this is a nitpick that only an actual Halo fan could have and not a general critic's nitpick. But overall, it's just kind of something that I wish was still there. 23 is the simple fact that it fucks with a lot of established lore on multiple occasions. One example is the fact that in Halo 4 Spartan Ops, Halsey's arm was indeed shot off by Sarah Palmer, but Halo 5 likes to blame it on Jul 'Mdama when he wasn't the one that did it. And all the potential, this is a little mini fact here, all the potential that Jul 'Mdama had, and they decided to kill him off in the first mission. Yeah, he was in Halo 4, but he didn't really get the spotlight he deserved. I figured we would have seen more of him in Halo 5. God damn it. 24 is the fact that, well, it just didn't have a sense of dread, similar to how I felt in Halo 2 and 3. This is also a problem I had with Halo 4, but even that Halo 4 still did kind of retain some of it. Halo 5, nothing really felt like it was at stake. It just felt bland. 25 is the retarded cliffhanger ending that I gotta say no one really liked. Yes, it's worse than Halo 2's. 26. They kind of added Team Osiris for no reason other than co-op. I know I stated this in a previous fact, but I kind of wanted to focus on something else in that fact. 27 is the fact that for the majority of the game you're put into the shoes of Locke, basically a character that you're forced not to like, because he's hunting down the Master Chief, a character that every Halo fan grew up with. I know the Master Chief isn't the most established character ever until, 343's version of Halo, but regardless, the game gave you no reason to like him. You could argue on Halo Nightfall, but no one likes Halo Nightfall. 28 is a bit of a nitpick, but I noticed that multiplayer games, whenever I wanted to mute a whole party with the mute the whole party button, it usually didn't work. I would usually press it and then find myself pressing it again and again without it actually ever working. I know that's a nitpick, but still something I'd like to get off my chest. 29 is that they didn't add an insane amount of new weapons, and the new weapons that they did add are pretty much useless. I rarely found uses for the Hydra, and the Plasma Caster is just the embodiment of the focus rifle from Halo Reach. Basically a gimmick weapon with no actual reward for using. And number 30 is the simple fact that the game focused too much on fixing Halo 4's flaws without focusing on avoiding flaws it could make for itself. The simple statement that's always going to be thrown around. Halo 4 had an excellent campaign with bad multiplayer, and then Halo 5 had a bad campaign with great multiplayer. Anyway, I will be making a follow-up video to this, a few reasons why Halo 5 is good, but for now, here it is. This is not a video made to shit on 343. It's a video to help them learn from their mistakes and such, and make sure that next time they get it right. I genuinely do think that Halo 6 can be the perfect Halo game because of the things that 343 has actually learned off of. They have generations of Halo games behind them, and now they have the new ones that they've been creating. Don't shit on 343. Keep in mind that Halo 4 and 5 are their first 2 games that they have ever made. So obviously, they're still trying. Anyway, later.